The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki.
Hello, welcome to the show. It's Nikki Glaser Podcast. I'm here in Los Angeles with Brian Frangie next to me. What's up? Do you just decide to throw on a sun hat over the headphones?
Yeah, it doesn't fit.
Nope, doesn't.
No, it's
you
just
got a whole look going here.
Gilligan-esque. Yeah.
Well, it's
very
hot out. It's 100
Gilligan's
degrees.
So that
It's
makes
100
sense why you're wearing
goddamn degrees.
long sleeves. You dress like you're going on an expedition in the Arctic most of the time, and it's 110 degrees outside.
No, you know what I dress like? An 85-year-old man going to the beach.
Yeah, that is it.
I don't want any sun to touch
Did
my
someone
skin at all. I
bully
just
you?
knocked over
No,
your
it's okay. Just leave my Invisalign on the floor. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
You don't even want to touch that.
It belongs there.
Yeah, you just like to cover up. You don't want to get sun exposure.
I don't want to put on sunscreen because then I get all sticky. And then what I hate about sunscreen is that about around 4 p.m., it starts dripping into your eyes, and then you start having eye pain, and you start tearing up. And I don't want to deal with that. Is that so much to ask?
That's why you wear so many layers. Because you have a scarf that Noah pointed out, but you said it is not a scarf.
It's a buff.
It's a buff. What's the difference between a buff and a scarf?
Well, a buff is made of cooling, moisture-wicking material that you can wet, and it'll keep you cool if you wet it with cold water.
Yeah, that feels good. Yeah, that's nice.
And my shirt is also very breathable. It's probably actually cooler to wear this shirt than to wear like a cotton t-shirt.
Why not white though? Wouldn't a white color be better for not overheating?
I don't own a white one.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Brian
then.
is highly flammable right now. All these materials will just ignite if he's next to a
the
candle.
wicking.
What is everybody saying? Aren't you hot and on
researched
fire?
it and we know that those are
this isn't flammable at all.
I have a question though. Sometimes when people walk into this room that we are so frequently in here, you will put the buff over your mouth.
Yeah, sometimes I do that.
Is that what you look like you're about to rob a bank? It looks like you're a bandit on the run. Is that because sometimes you'll do it and it's like almost like you want to protect them from your breath, or you're worried about COVID or something, and I can see them like tense up, like what did I say? What did I do wrong? But is it just a nervous habit?
It's not. I don't know if it's nervous. No.
Yeah, I'm throwing nerves on it.
Yeah, I think
nervous.
I don't know
An
why
anxious
I do
habit?
it. I was
Okay.
gonna say it's because someone comes in here and stinks.
Yeah, because they're far away. I thought that too, but
No, it's just I think it's a little fun. You know,
Oh.
I get bored sometimes, and
I had a
to
boner.
pass the time, I'll put my buff in different positions.
okay. Wait, hold on. I'm going to
It
check
does
the
make
camera for a
things so
booger.
much more fun.
What did you say?
It does make things so much more fun.
Yeah, things are just. I've never had so much fun.
People in prison
a hotel
should,
room before.
should get buffs and
Yeah, it
just try it out. You
you're
get a new
mysterious.
persona every once in a while.
Yeah, it's something to play with. I play with my necklaces. Girls have things to like play with. Maybe
Allie plays with her hair all the time.
right. That means she likes you.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. If you're a peacocking.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't even mean to. Girls just start like kind of preening.
Yes.
Is that the word? When you like a boy, you just start kind of like trying to make it look better, I guess, but you're also nervous, so you're just
When I like somebody, I do this. I just rub my arms.
yes.
Oh, very
I
soothing.
do a lot of arm rubbing.
Well, I think you
It's
do
a
that because
tell.
you're like trying to draw attention to your arms and your skin, and you're trying to be like it's like almost a sexual movement.
You're like, touch
to caress
me
your
like
arm.
this.
Yeah,
This is how I like
think
to
that's
be.
it. I've
Yeah.
done that before.
Do you guys know the hug position?
In sex?
No. Like to comfort yourself, you can go like this.
These are so
Okay,
not
so you put
sexy.
cross your hands across your chest.
Yeah.
Okay, what?
And then it makes your body. It
Think
tricks
you're
your
being
brain.
hugged?
Yeah, and then it should soothe you.
Oh.
Yeah, but it doesn't work.
I don't think that would make me so. It's almost like when you try to make it look like you're making out with yourself.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
from behind.
I feel like
Yes.
I've seen Nikki in this position.
I do that a lot. Yeah, I crunch up in a little ball.
Yeah,
I get
but
very
yours is like,
tight.
I'm scared.
when I'm feeling
Or
anxious.
I want, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like when
it is
you're doing that,
self-soothing,
you're not in
so
a
that makes
great
sense.
mood.
I'm trying to get hugged by myself.
What's
And
your
then-
tell when you're like attracted to someone, Nikki? Have you ever been told that you do a certain thing?
I don't make eye contact, and I'm really mean to them, and they have no idea. No, I think I play with my hair, and I'll smile a lot and also try to seem disinterested in them. Not make too much eye contact. Probably talk about sex stuff. Try to get the conversation a little bit sexual. And I know that some people, I think in the past you've been like annoyed by girls that do that on you. So I'm sorry to say I do that, but I don't do it around people who have.
I've never been
like your boyfriend. If I ever talk about
like,
sex around Avi or Matt, it's not because I'm wanting to fuck them. It's just because I also happen to be interested in that topic regardless. But I think that when I like a guy, I'll just try to steer it to like, not even sex, like relationships or like just, and it's not for me to be like, think about me as your girlfriend. I want to get information about their situation or how they might be in bed or like if they're a sexual person. And I might try to get them to see me in that light a little bit. I don't know.
I do think I have seen you once in a while be like nervously antisocial, which I'm like, wait, why is she not talking to this person? And then later I find out.
Nervously anti-Semitic.
No, I'm always confidently anti-Semitic. No, yeah, I think I do get quiet and nervous, and I get not funny. Like there's no funniness because you can't mix the two.
Yeah.
If I have a new thing, you guys, if you don't want to come too fast, I figured this out. Did I share this yet? If you're masturbating and you are coming too fast, AKA me recently, and masturbation is one of my favorite things. I like to like spend a lot of time doing it. I like to like, what's it called? I think it's called gooning.
Oh yeah, gooning. Yes, you can goon.
It's so embarrassing what this term is. What gooning is like the face you make when you're about to come, and I think they like coined gooning is like when you try to extend Christmas Eve before the Christmas. So you just like goon a lot. So you're just like, oh, gooning.
That would be
and
so
then you don't
funny
come.
if you went home and like your family set up Christmas decorations like on December 1st and you go, you guys are really gooning Christmas this year.
I was always trying to goon Christmas. I was always the last one to open presents.
That is hilarious.
I never wanted it to end. I'm always the last person to open a present because I just want it to last forever.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to, I've always been very good about not.
It's also called edging.
Yeah, edging.
Yeah.
It's same thing, kind of.
Gooning. And I think gooning has a connotation that like somebody
You're a
is
loser?
forcing you to goon.
Oh.
Yeah. Like your goon is a negative connotation. Edging is like what you'll see on Reddit to be like, I edged for 45 days.
Yes.
I haven't come yet. And then gooning is like, you're just a little piece of shit gooning.
Yeah, it does have a negative.
You can't come.
But
well, goon used to mean like you're a doofus.
Will you look it up, Noah, what the definition of gooning is, please? Because, yeah, gooning doesn't sound good.
No. And there's the Goonies.
Oh, okay. I got
That
it.
movie goes on for way too long.
Gooning is a state into which one gets when one is highly aroused. Gooning typically describes male behavior rather than female, according to Urban Dictionary.
Nikki's going in.
I'm gooning. What's a female goon? Gooness. Yeah, but gooning, and so I was having a lot of trouble because I think after I got that hormone pellet in my ass or whatever, like I can't goon. I'm just like I don't know if this is relatable. I don't even know. I don't want to get too graphic because it's just gross. But you know, when you like are about to climax, like I usually have control over that moment and I can like not. I have a lot of self-control. It's almost like anorexic, like where you're like, I have a plate of food in front of me. I'm not going to eat it, even though I want it so bad. And I'm like forcing myself not to. And I feel like superior because I'm not like, I feel in control. I have no control over it anymore until I realized if I force myself to laugh, even a fake smile, instantly deflates my arousal.
Wow.
And takes the pressure away, and then I can continue gooning. And so if you're about to come, start laughing, just a fake laugh, because your body can't do both. It's like physically impossible to both laugh and come.
You can't, you can't be horny and laughing at the same time.
They're both too defenseless or something. They're the opposite things. But so I found like the easiest thing the other night. I just was like, oh, this is too soon. I want to watch a couple more videos. I want to extend this because that's like the most fun part. And so I just go like, ha 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 ha. like to myself. I mean, it's fucking crazy.
No, it's not
sounding, but it works.
Yes.
So if anyone wants to try that, just laugh or smile. If you're with a person and so you don't want to like laugh weirdly, just smile into a pillow or something. And I swear to God, your body like reacts to your smiling as like we have to turn off the cum wave has to stop.
It would be very confusing if someone saw you doing this. You're gooning and you're going,
It's crazy. I hope this hotel room's not haunted because those ghosts have moved on to another room or they're sticking around because it's very entertaining.
Goon used to mean back 20 years ago, just like a doofus, like a guy who
like
makes
Goonies.
Ooh, yeah, like
yeah.
And in high school, I had this friend who he called me a goon and I called him a goon, and so we instituted this thing called the Goon Challenge.
Oh.
And throughout our lives, I'm still friends with him. Throughout our lives, we would have these competitions. Like even if it was in high school, it's like we're playing hangman on the chalkboard before class. Whoever wins, that's 1 point in the Goon Challenge. And we kept track of who has more points over the course of many years, and whoever would lose would be the ultimate goon. But
where did you leave off?
well, here's where we left off. We kind of after I went to
died.
college and stuff. Yeah, and then he took his own life because I was
He hung
bullying
himself.
him.
He hangmaned himself.
Yes. No, but after I went to college, we kind of stopped gooning each other, and I many years later, I just randomly started sending him anonymous packages from Amazon. You can send a package. You can send an Amazon package to anybody,
Anyone
you want,
and they won't know
2-day
who
shipping.
did it. Yeah.
I just find things on Amazon that say Goon on them, or a movie called Goon, or a book that has Goon in the title, and I anonymously send him one like every few months.
That is funny. Does he not know?
Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan. I bet
Okay,
you
that's
sent
great.
that.
I have not sent that yet. I've sent it.
God,
She's a
that
good
book
writer.
was so hard to get through.
Oh, really?
There's
yeah.
a children's
Did it.
book called Goodnight Goon, which is like a parody of Goodnight
seen
Moon.
that.
Yeah, send them that. There's a hockey movie
Why are
called
there?
Goon.
How do you know so many Goon books, Anya? First of all, you are
I only
always
know
like, I wish I
one.
read. You read
Oh, the Goon.
Jennifer Egan. You read a book?
I did, Nikki.
No, you always are like, I wish I could read books. I've never heard you reading.
I know.
Who recommended this one? I've never even heard it.
My friend Heather Larimer in Portland, who's very literate, and she recommended it. It's about a record label person and bands. So I was like,
got it.
I'll like this. But it was very
It was like Daisy Jones and the Six.
way more erudite than that.
Don't use that word.
Oh wow, erudite.
Do you, Noah, look up erudite. I like all Noah's searches will be goon.
It says
Definition
goon.
erudite. Erudite,
I think
I'm
it means
thinking
like
is
educated,
like
right?
it thinks you're more book smart than you are. Like is using the word erudite.
I think it's
Like
just
trying to
means
sound
book smart.
learned.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
Oh.
what it is.
Well, that's ironic that the word is what it is. Like you're erudite if you. I don't think you were being erudite, but it was
It's just
a word.
having or showing great knowledge or learning.
So yeah, you're kind of erudite if you use that word.
I mean, yeah, I'm gooning.
That's
it's
an
a good
SAT
one.
word. I remember it from the SATs, but I didn't quite remember what it means.
My new word that I'm trying to use a lot. Oh fuck! What was it?
Goon.
No. Well, that's after today for sure. What was it? It's something that Sam Harris said the other day, and now I forgot it, but I wrote it down and I was really good. I can't believe I remembered it. It's so hard to pick up a new
Incomprehensible.
vocab word and use it.
Yeah, I forgot what the number was, but it's like the average human only has like 600 words total or something stupid like that.
Whoa. Spurious.
Oh yeah.
Spurious.
So
That's
Sam
like-
Harrisy.
Yeah. Do you know what that means, you guys? Anya probably does.
That's another
She's good.
SAT word,
I don't
but I don't
know.
remember what it means.
I think it
I would
means
guess
like
it's
you're
like-
a liar. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna guess liar.
Like you're spurious
I was thinking of
claims. Like
spontaneous.
I think it
Oh,
means
like
like you're
fishy.
just you're full of false information.
Well, furious
I think.
means that you're. What's the us suffix? I don't know what it means. I can't figure it out. I didn't take Latin.
We're such idiots.
Oh
Hold
my-
on, I'm gonna look up
False
spurious.
or fake is
Okay,
spurious.
spurious. That's a good one. Spurious.
You know what assiduous means?
I know what deciduous means. It means a tree in a forest with a bunch of green.
Yes.
So
but
assiduous?
assiduous.
No.
Assiduous means hardworking, like you're buckling down. You're an assiduous worker.
Man, I only get
I
assiduous.
remember that from
once
the
every couple
SATs
months.
because my friend used to say, "Sit your ass down and work."
That's good.
Yeah.
That's like when people are trying to remember the strains of weed, and
Yeah.
it's like sativa is indica is in-the couch
Oh,
because it makes
wow,
you lazy.
yes.
But then sativa, I'm always like, it means sat in the couch.
Yeah.
So I know both of them sound like you're just in the couch.
Why are we so stupid? And when I say we,
No,
I mean
I'm
human
with you.
beings.
Oh.
Like we need to have some dumb nursery rhyme to remember a word.
Because there's too many things. There's too many things now. We used to just have to know, like, we didn't even have words. We used to just grunt and like know what berries would make us vomit.
I don't
until we
even know
died.
what berries anymore.
Well, you became like an expert hiker, didn't you? What was it
Didn't you
called?
see my hat?
Okay, he learned all of this, how to dress for the heat and stuff like this. He does know more than us because he
Yes.
went on a survival.
I took the Sierra
class.
Club Wilderness travel course. There's a 3-month intensive backpacking course that culminates in snow camping in the mountains. And me and Allie took it. Allie is such a trooper for taking this. She was like, "What is this?" And then I signed her up.
Jesus Christ.
And we did this course, and it was way more intense than we thought
She
it was
loves
going to
you.
be.
No, I think she actually
That
likes
was
that
so
stuff.
Julie Glaser just
No,
then.
well, she loves
She
you.
loves
Wait, no, she likes outdoor stuff. That's
She
part
likes
of your
outdoor
relationship.
stuff, but this was like
Intense.
This was literally intense and out of tense.
Yeah.
And we were gonna quit at points, but like, and also it's like the people were nice. There was plenty of nice people, but you know, when people sign up for a class like this or a club like this, you know, there's always going to be
Show-offs.
Several. Well, there's show-offs, and then there's several just insufferable people.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about one of them.
Well, one of them like supported Russia in the war in Ukraine, and like
Anya's mom
kept
was there?
talking. It was Anya's mom.
I didn't know she was into that kind of thing.
He was actually pretty nice, but like, you know, sometimes stuff like that would come up, and then like there was just, I called it a culture of darkness.
Okay.
Yeah, where they were just so, they wanted you to wake up at like 2:00 in the morning so you can get to the trailhead at 4:00 in the morning so you can start hiking before the sun rose.
Right.
And I would get there and I'd be like, why are you doing this? Like, this isn't fun to torture yourself.
Well, that's why I would ask you why. Yeah, why do they do that? But why did you even do this thing that they could do that to you? You like a certain amount of torture.
I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn. That's
What
the
did you
only
learn?
way.
What could you tell us from your wilderness training that like is important for someone? I just read last night that people are going to Death Valley for like the hottest place in the world.
Yeah.
As just like a tourist. It's turning into like a tourist trap to like, I'm going to this place that's like 150 degrees
Yeah.
outside. And there's only 3 gas stations for an area the size of like the Grand Canyon. And there's all this like, this person was like, I'm from this area. Do not go here as a tourist. And they're like, if you go in a car that is like so brand new, like that you trust, because it's like so dangerous. And they were giving all this advice. You need 3 gallons of water per person in the car. If they don't drive on a spare tire, can you imagine driving into the Death Valley and then you get a fucking flat?
No,
And then you keep going. They were like, if you get a flat, turn back around. It's like, yeah, no shit.
I'm going to Death Valley
Why?
on New Year's Eve this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a whole plan. Well, it's
You
one of the
wanna go?
national parks, and I have to go to all the national
Oh,
parks.
yeah, you do.
And we are going to rent a Jeep to go to like I think that person was like a little bit maybe like
Overzealous about how dangerous it is?
There's like 2 little towns that are in Death Valley that you can stay at like a nice like spa. I mean, it's like it's not quite like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's more like it's almost like, and if you
It has
go
the word death in it.
yeah, well, that's why it's so cool.
Yeah.
If you go in the middle of summer, it'll be like 150 degrees and you'll burn up and die. But if you go in like the winter time, it's
right.
like 70 degrees.
Oh, that's
So
not
I have
bad.
a
80
question.
degrees.
You went with Allie for 3 months on this venture.
It's like once a week for 3 months.
It's like
Oh,
you have
okay.
in-person seminars like classes on Wednesdays, and then on the weekends you do excursions where you camp and you learn how to make a fire and protect yourself.
So do you
from
watch
bears.
alone the show?
I haven't watched it yet, but Nikki
love it.
has
You
entreated
guys
me to
would
watch it
love
many
it.
times.
yeah. Entreated?
I'm so curious
Entreated,
how
yeah.
long you could survive.
Hilarious. Okay, we have to take a break. Let's talk more about
Korean.
survival when we get back. All right, we're back. Okay, so what did you learn in this wilderness course that you could teach us?
Well, filtering.
Do you know the rules of 3?
The rules of 3? I know
Yeah.
the 10 essentials. What's the rules of 3?
Ooh. The rules of 3, from what I learned, is you can only survive, like in the extremes, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, and 30 days without food.
30 days without
Oh,
food?
yeah. We've done that, Nikki.
Well, that sounds right to me.
Not true. Yeah. Okay, 3 days without water. That seems kind of long.
Yeah, I mean, you probably get heat stroke or something before you died of
I think
thirst.
hypothermia sounds like the best way to die because apparently most people are found with all their clothes stripped off because you start to feel like you're hot
Yes.
and then you just curl up in the snow and you like have, people who have been on the brink of dying have reported that it's like really warm and sunny and a lovely like kind of passing away.
I think you're right.
You get you start hallucinating and it's kind of lovely.
Yeah, I mean,
but heat
So you
stroke
wanna try
doesn't sound
that?
good. Heat stroke sounds almost
you're just
immediate.
delirious. You fall off a cliff if you have heat stroke.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
If you have heat stroke, you won't die from the heat stroke. You'll probably fall off a cliff and hit your head on a rock and die that way.
because you're just so weak and you're still trying
You're
to
just
walk.
stumbling around. You don't know what's going on. You don't know where you are.
I'd be
You're
trying to
dizzy.
chop down a cactus, trying to get the water out of that.
Yeah, no, it's not
When
good.
that would give me nothing.
I'd be trying to get reception on my phone and just like fly off a cliff.
Trying to post on TikTok. Yeah. Just the last
Do a cute
goodbye.
selfie.
Yeah. I did. Yeah. I was going to bring up the death that I read about this weekend that I sent my friends. This woman was like sleeping in some grass, some tall grass, like a homeless woman.
Okay.
And someone was
By the way, she did
lawn
not look
mowing.
homeless.
Oh no!
She didn't look
Yes.
homeless because they were like, well, that's the new thing. Anyone can be homeless now because our fucking society is so fucked up. So there's recent pictures of people who are homeless that do not look homeless because they weren't homeless a week ago.
Yeah.
But they are homeless because they can't fucking afford to live anymore. So she was like her last picture was like at a party with a guy and she has like a normal outfit on. She has like a plate with like some food on it. And that was like the picture they showed, at least that I saw. And then now she's homeless and someone was a huge John Deere tractor. And apparently her family was like, there were chunks of her everywhere.
Oh God!
But then they had a picture of her jeans that she was wearing and like her top, and there was no blood or anything on them. So I don't know what was what. But it was in Modesto, California, where Scott Peterson allegedly killed Lacey Peterson.
Oh my God!
Not even allegedly, I think he's convicted. But my friend Taylor McGraw says that he's innocent. So who the fuck knows?
I've watched 2 Scott Peterson documentaries, and
what
it
do
is
you
very
think?
confusing. It's so confusing. By that time you're watching, you're like, oh my God, there might not have been time for him to do it. He really was gone.
Taylor
during this-
said just because someone is cheating and their wife gets murdered does not mean they did it. It could just be a coincidence. Just because you're Googling chloroform and a life insurance policy before they die, it could be coincidental. There is someone out there that has Googled chloroform or just been interested in like, is maybe,
Sure.
and just
I Google it every day.
Their wife happens to go missing.
Yes.
And then it looks so bad.
Oh yeah. No good.
Everyone thinks you're guilty, but like there is at least one situation out there where that is coincidental. And that's what Taylor says is like, it's not, it's just coincidental that he was cheating on his wife and lying about it and all these things and wanting to get out. And then she goes missing.
Yeah.
He's gone for an hour when Lacey's home and he's like riding his boat around the bay. And then there's this robbery that happens across the street from Lacey's house with these guys in a van and they're loading shit from the house across the street. And Lacey goes, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? And a neighbor drives by, sees Lacey crouching near the van, looking scared. And they're like, it looked like she was urinating or something.
Where
She
was
looked
all
afraid.
of this during the trial?
They wouldn't admit that into court because of some weird thing but it's in one of these documentaries that the neighbor's like, I drove by and I saw Lacey talking to these guys and she looked a little scared and I couldn't tell. And somebody else was like, I saw Lacey
scared
Peterson
anytime I'm talking
confronting-
to men in my neighbor's driveway.
Yeah.
Like,
and
and
that
that's
was
also
right around the
coincidental.
time she was murdered.
I look scared all the time. If I got murdered, people would be like, I saw Nikki earlier today at Starbucks looking scared, talking to the barista about how this was supposed to be almond milk. Like everyone would be implicated because I would just look like a guilt, like I'm just like crouching by everyone.
Yes.
You know? Do you guys have an extension cord? I'm sorry, I forgot what I'm asking.
You apologize quite frequently.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But I am genuinely sorry.
No, it's
existing. It's my mom's and dad's fault. They got a little randy on September 11th, 1983. I think I was conceived on their anniversary, the year anniversary of their wedding, because it kind of backtracks.
It's September 11th?
Well, my parents' anniversary is September 11th.
Oh my God.
I've always known that day is a tragedy. That's my joke. And my other joke is that on their anniversary every year, I, write on their car with like white shoe polish, like happy anniversry. And they have to just drive around all day with that. That would be so awful.
They're the two towers of your life.
Yeah, they are. I'm building 7. And I don't know what any of this is. So I forget what I was saying, but
you're always apologizing, but I think it's because yes, you're apologizing for your existence, but you also you're recognizing when other people might feel like a little bit bad, and so you're just acknowledging other people's experiences by apologizing more so than I think most people would.
Yeah, I'm very aware. But I don't like to pat myself on the back about being like, I'm so intuitive about how people feel, but I feel like I might be. I don't know how and I'm projecting a lot of times, like I would feel this way, but I like to get ahead of anyone possibly thinking I'm a bitch or and not to control the narrative about me so much, because I kind of don't care when I find out people think I'm a bitch. I don't care if I was one. I'm just like, okay, well, that's fine. I've kind of let that go, but I just don't want people to think. Like the other day, I changed my mind about something that a lot of people had prepared something for. And I felt bad because people had gotten to work early. They had put a lot of work into like thinking that I was going to do this thing. And then at the last minute, I was like, I don't want to do this at all. I'm so mad. I should have said no to this at the first start of the thing. And so I had to send a lot of text apologizing to each person that was involved.
Yes.
Just in case they thought I carelessly was just like, disregarding of their time and not caring, because that would make me feel shitty. Mm-hmm. I would be like, and I think when you're, I think it's easy for people to think that celebrities think that they're better than everyone else and they don't care about other people. And sometimes I don't. Like sometimes you get treated so nicely, you forget that all the work that goes in to treat you so nicely.
Yes.
And I like to try to remember that, I guess, but I can be bad about it sometimes.
One of your goals.
You're generous with an apology, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
One of your goals in life is to have on some set somewhere where you're not on it. Mm-hmm. The hair and makeup person says, I met Nikki Glaser, and they go, oh, how was she? And they go, she was actually really nice.
Yes.
That's your goal.
It always comes back to me when I saw someone the other night and he said, my girlfriend was a makeup artist for you on some project. And I was like, hey. And of course, I don't even know why I got tense. I've never once been rude to a makeup artist. Maybe I have unintentionally, but never intentionally. And I was still nervous, but he was like, she said you were so nice. And I was like, and I do. I get off from being one of the celebrities that people have nice things to say about. Whenever there's a subreddit. Yeah.
I was just watching an episode of The Kardashians. I've been getting into this season. And you kind of overlook moments when people might be rude. But there was this one scene when Kris is getting her makeup done by this guy. And he's like, they cut off the scene, but it's right when he goes, it was so lovely meeting. And she completely ignores him. And she's like, let's go shopping, girls. Like completely ignores him twice. And it was one of those things where if you're watching the show, you wouldn't even notice it. And it'd be like a nothing moment. But I was thinking that was really rude. Like he was talking to her and he's like, you look beautiful. She doesn't address him. She goes, I look amazing. And then he goes, it was so lovely meeting you. And she's just on to the next thing. Yeah. Nothing. Just gets out of the chair.
I catch myself doing that a lot where I'm just focused on what's next and I don't hear the person next to me. And so I can come off as rude and it's unintentional. This weekend, Carlisle, I was over at her apartment and I was just feeling low. And she's like, you need to do like an NAD, like IV drip. And so she's like, let me just call. And so she calls this like med spa and she's like, has them on speaker and she's asking this girl all these questions about NAD. And it ends up being like $750.
Oh
You
my
can get
God.
an NAD push into your IV that you're already getting, but that's
What
just
is
a
NAD?
little. I don't. It's
NAD?
Like
a-
energy?
Yeah, it's like energy. It like helps with brain fog. None of this stuff
It's called
I really
NAD?
believe. I think it's all placebo.
like that's like a ball. Like
I
your
know.
nads.
No, there's a G in
Gonads,
there.
Yeah.
They should change
Yeah.
that.
But it's NAD. I don't know
I'll
that
tell
they
you
need
what
to
it
change it. I don't
stands
think people
for.
are that like focused on balls.
I'm
You're upset
furious. I'm spurious.
about it. So NAD, she's like, get it. She's like, if I had your money, I would do this every day. She is always telling me that. She's like, if I had your money, I would do this to my neck. I would do this to my face. I'm like, are you thinking what I should do to my face and neck? But she's always telling me things like that. So she's like, let me just call. And so she calls, and this girl is like giving us all this information, talking for so long. And then I just go to Carlisle and go, I'm not going to do it. And she's like, okay, thanks, bye. And like just hangs up on her really quick. And the girl's like, have a great day. You know, like hangs up. And I go, Carlisle, that was so rude. She was just focused on doing what I was telling her to do.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she wasn't focused on the girl on the other line. So she just hung up on this girl. And I'm always, when there are people that help me on a phone call, I'm always like, I wait for the thank you. Have a good day. You have a good day too.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your time. I like to give them something so they don't, because I know that telemarketers have lost faith in the world.
Sure,
People are
sure.
just rude to them all day long. And I go, call out. You can't, if someone has given you 7 minutes of their time going over their menu, what this
Yeah.
thing does for you, how the IVs work, the pricing plan, it doesn't matter if you're not going to use it. You have to thank them for their time. And, you know, I know it's their job, but like, I do hang up sometimes when I get a spam call and she's like, hi, this is Tiffany. I go, honey, I'm so sorry. Can't do this right now. Bye. And I will hang up without getting
Sure,
a
sure.
response from
Well,
them.
that's different because that's someone trying to sell you something. This is a receptionist
Yeah.
who like just took the call
Yeah.
that Carlisle made.
Yeah, you called her.
And that girl
Yeah.
could have customers lining up in front of her who she's giving like the 1 minute finger to because she's we've all been into a
Oh,
place where they're
yeah.
on the phone with someone who's asking about every fucking detail of their menu. And you're like, bitch, just look online.
Right. Why does the phone get precedence for the person who's actually there? The phone always gets precedence.
Because it's ringing and it's annoying. But I
Although
like a good
sometimes-
hold.
Yeah, sometimes they say, hello, this is the vet, please hold. And then they put you on hold.
And then I'm
Yeah.
in the counter and I'm freaking out because that person's been on hold way too long. They got a dying dog.
God, it's not got either side.
Oh, I stress out. I just go get the call. Just take care of it. I'm sorry. I'm even here.
I meant to bring up, though, another topic.
Yeah.
The Gilgo Beach murderer, Long Island's most famous unsolved
I don't know
murder.
anything about this.
He was caught.
I don't know about this. Girls chat referenced it and I just and called it like the Dildo Beach murder. They were making dildo references. I haven't heard about this. What is this?
He is a guy who turns out he looks like exactly what you think a serial killer would look like.
Oh my God.
Every fucking time. Just describe him. You've never seen him, right?
Okay.
Describe this guy.
Bald, old,
Beautiful.
like
Good looking.
age spots all over. No iris, just all pupil. Molester glasses.
That's
Okay,
definitely true.
scraggle, like unkempt hair.
Yes.
Let's go unkempt hair.
Yes.
Blondish,
I think so, yeah. I'm not 100%
just
on
messed
that.
up.
Yeah. What about his
Borderline
body type?
obese. Borderline obese.
Yes. Yes. Border like a big
I would have said
intimidating
wiry.
man.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And who was he
Oh.
murdering?
Oh my
So
god.
the Gilgo
Nikki,
Beach.
look.
No, there he is. But he normally has glasses too. And he's an
Yeah, he looks like a football coach.
he's an architect.
Oh,
Terrifying
wow.
eyes.
He's not, you could tell he was probably a good looking guy at one point. I kind of like his hair. It's kind of like Dunna hair. It has like, that hair would have been killing it. It's like Rob Thomas hair.
Oh my God.
1999 Rob Thomas.
His hair
All
would
he
have been
needs are
killing
some
it. And he
aviators.
would have been killing it too.
Yeah. Okay. So what should,
He was.
you can't have that kind of long hair if you're a serial killer. That stuff's falling out and that's very noticeable.
Yeah. And then
DNA.
Oh yeah, no. He was very good at hiding his victims. He hid them at Gilgo Beach in the marshes. And
How long was he murdering for?
He murdered, from what I understand, I'm no expert, but I believe he murdered 4 people and he buried them in the marshes. And the thing about the marshes is if you bury a body in a marsh, it like decomposes instantaneously. Like animals eat
I think
it.
it's called a bog body.
Oh,
a bog body. What's that?
Sounds like
exactly
a new
what
trend
you're
on
talking
TikTok
about.
where you try to get
Bog body.
you like lay in a bog and it like eats your fat or something. Okay, so he knew how to get rid of these bodies fast.
I guess so, or he just got lucky. But he put all the bodies in the same area in Gilgo Beach, and they were there for years, and he was not caught. That happened in like 2007. They were 4 prostitutes. Yes.
So there's more.
Maybe.
You can't just kill 4 prostitutes
They
over
said-
a 20-year span. No
Yeah.
fucking way. There's got to be more.
So there's some funny and also disturbing things from. I read my friend is actually a police officer in Suffolk County where this happened, and he's like giving us all the updates. And I read like the police report or whatever. And there's a couple of funny things in it.
Yeah.
One of them is the 4th person that he killed was a prostitute who he went to the prostitute's house to have sex, and she was performing what the report described as a ruse.
Okay.
She performed a ruse where she had the guy, she didn't know this guy, she was just talking to him on the phone. She had the guy come into his house. She's like, give me whatever, $500 and we're going to have sex. And then the guy gave her the $500, and then she had another man come out pretending to be her angry boyfriend, going, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
And then kicks him out and
Kicks him out,
Yeah.
and they keep the money.
Okay.
Little did she know that this guy already murdered 3 prostitutes. So
But
now,
good thing she has a guy there.
good thing she has a guy there, but now he's like zeroed in on her. And he calls her up and says, "That wasn't very nice." Yes.
Oh, wait, she did it to him and he scrammed.
He scrammed.
But he's not going to forget.
He's not going to forget. And he goes, "That's not very nice. Next time we do this, please make sure that your boyfriend isn't there." Or maybe he said, like, we'll do it at a different location, a second location. Yeah.
No.
That wasn't very nice. It's so
That
scary.
wasn't very nice.
It's so scary.
When you know that he's a murderer, it's really scary.
Oh, God.
So it was just funny that they described it as a ruse in the report.
Oh, and then she got
The
rused.
prostitute was involved
So she met up
in
with
a
this guy again?
ruse. She met up with him again, and he strangled her and threw her in the marsh.
Can we just say, like, I think society, I mean, I know they do. They don't look at prostitutes as like real people. And I think that it can be just like, oh, he just killed prostitutes.
Oh, yeah.
No, Beggy. They're just prostitutes. Do you know that we're all prostitutes, really, that just had better lives than those
Especially
women?
us.
We all could have been prostitutes if we just had shitty parents, no fucking support our whole lives except this one pimp that showed us a little slice of kindness. We are all we are all anyone. I think sometimes you just think, I would never do that. I could never do that. Like, these women want to do this. They don't want to do it. They're sex trafficked. They have no other options. And they're no different than you and me, except that they were just born into a better situation. And same with the serial killer, to be honest with you, too. We're all just lucky weren't born with a serial killer's brain.
And
because
all of us are just a month away from being like that
A
poor
homeless woman
who got lawnmowered.
sleeping. And I mean, she must have been opioided out, because how do you not hear a lawnmower approaching?
She might have been in a deep sleep.
Why do you sleep you shouldn't sleep in the tall grass either. Like, there's ticks in there. It's not comfortable. I learned this from my
I'm
wilderness.
thinking she was on drugs, a lot of drugs, and she had a kid.
We were
but yeah,
supposed to
she
hear
was.
Brian's survival
So yeah, what did you
tips.
learn?
Oh, wait.
They were 10 essentials.
I'd rather, I don't want to say anything about that.
Okay.
It's not interesting enough to say, but at the Gilgo Beach murder, I have more information.
Oh, please do tell us, detective.
I can tell you the 10 essentials, but it's like, okay,
But
bring water.
What would this guy
boring
do?
as shit.
Would he have sex with them first and then murder them? And how would he murder them? Strangle them?
Strangle them.
Worst way.
Another funny thing is that they asked that angry boyfriend who was part of the ruse
Oh, yeah, we
to
remember.
describe the guy who came over when they were trying to investigate. And he said he was, quote, I'm not saying this, he said this and it's in the report, he was big and scraggly like an ogre. That was fun. I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm. He's like, have you seen
about right.
Shrek? Okay.
The other funny thing
good.
about these murders is he would only do it when his wife went on vacation. So
This guy had a wife.
he had a wife, and he was an architect with a wife, and then
What
everyone
buildings did he design, I wonder?
the World Trade Center.
No, he didn't.
Oh my God, Brian.
he designed, I don't know, probably some fucking, brutalist German bank or something.
There's buildings that you and I use every day that this guy had a hand in making. And I'm sure some internet sleuth is going to find out what they are, and they're going to become a
How
TikTok
did they catch
destination.
him?
Well, I do want to say one more thing about his wife. So his wife would go on vacation, and every time she'd go on vacation, he would go murder somebody. So the first time she went to Iceland, the second time she went to Italy, and it's like, from the wife's perspective, it's like if she just stopped going on all these lavish solo vacations, those women would still be alive.
Eat, pray, murder.
Yeah.
Sure, blame the woman.
Yeah, I'm blaming
it's
the
her
woman on this
fault.
one.
How
Every time.
bored was he? He's like, I
They
got nothing to
just
do.
They need to murder to feel alive. It becomes like this addiction for them. Like they just want it too bad. They know it's wrong. I think that some of them wish they didn't have it. Jeffrey Dahmer, just from watching that, the
Mindhunter?
Not even Mindhunter, the one where, what's his name is in it? Evan Peters. It just seemed like Jeffrey Dahmer didn't want to be a murderer. I don't mean to get on this whole high horse of like, these people don't choose it, but they don't choose their murderous brain. They don't want to, like, no one wants to have it. Yeah.
But they do choose something. It's like, if you're a pedophile, you have a pedophile brain, but you can be a pedophile and choose not to do things to kids. You can be a murderer.
Well, you don't choose that. Your brain just is lucky enough to be one of the pedophiles that knows a way out. Like there's no free will, but so you don't choose anything, but they have a brain.
Well, that's on the bingo card, FYI.
But yeah, yes, you could choose to try to, I don't believe in, when we say choose, I'm not thinking that it's actually your will choosing, but let's just use that word. Yeah, you could choose to go get help for these things, but imagine telling someone, I want to murder. Like there's no safe places for these people to go where they won't be reported, because if someone has homicidal fantasies, they're going to get reported.
Sure.
Right.
So they really have nowhere to go except to other murderers to share, or, like that fucking Idaho murderer guy, allegedly.
Chat rooms.
He went on subreddits and was like, do you, what did he ask? He asked something about what it's like, because he investigated murders. He was going to school for criminology. And so he would just go on these chat rooms and like talk about like, what do you think they felt after their first murder? And like, just wanted to hear about stuff like that.
Cosplaying.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait for that to come out.
I will just say that I know I can't wait for any information to come out about that, or the Delphi murders is my number one. I want to know what that motherfucker did and how his wife did not notice that he was the guy in the picture.
All these people had wives, like BTK or whatever his name was. He had children
a daughter
and a wife.
Yeah. Crazy.
I think he had 2 kids maybe, and they were just like, this guy.
And he was dormant for like 20 years and didn't kill anyone. But then he just was like, someone in the newspaper, we're talking about BTK, he had murdered and got away with it forever. Because I was listening to John Mulaney's stand-up this weekend, and he was talking about old-time murders. He's like, it's insane that anyone got caught back then, because there was no DNA evidence, so there would be like a pool of blood, and the detective would be like, mop this up.
Yeah.
Like, let's draw a white chalk outline around the body. That'll do something. Like, you just like couldn't get caught because there was no DNA. So BTK was getting away with murder, literally.
Yeah.
And then years go by, and someone in the Kansas City Star newspaper was like, I guess this guy died or something, he just, couldn't do it anymore. And he couldn't stand that because he wanted to control the narrative. He didn't want people to forget what he did. So he started like writing into the Kansas City Star, and then they traced one of his dumb letters to a disk drive from his church that he worked at. So if he would have just not had an ego about it, he would still be out there.
How does that play into your free will thing then? If he was able to control himself and not do it for 20 years.
Well, he had a brain that was able to stop doing it for whatever reason. Like he was born with a brain that had the capacity to stop. And some serial killers don't. And some molesters do have a brain that like, oh, I want to fuck kids, but for whatever reason, they stumble upon the right information where they're like, oh, there's a group of people that talk about not offending. Oh, I'm going to join this. Like, you have to be presented with that. You have to have a brain that is capable of even thinking of that way out. So like, when you reach for a glass, you don't get to, whatever hand you think you choose to reach that glass with, you can go, oh, I'm choosing with my right hand. But what in my brain made me choose my right hand? I wasn't there for that decision. It just showed up. But you think you have control over it. So I won't get more into it.
But practically, I don't want to debate it either. But practically speaking,
there's no debate. It's just not. It doesn't exist. There's no chance.
Perhaps you're right about that. But practically speaking, it's not a practical way to think about things.
It actually is for me because it makes me feel. Talk about feeling guilty all the time and feeling sorry all the time, and when I do, like this morning, I forgot to plug in my laptop or last night I forgot to plug in my laptop for this. And so we're, fighting against a dying battery. I let myself off the hook for that because in no world would I have ever chosen to have a half full battery for this podcast this morning. If I had a choice, it would be full.
Yeah.
But I forgot to do it, not because I chose to forget or because I'm a negligent piece of shit. I just didn't remember, and it's not my fault. My brain just wasn't turned on that day. Or if I say something stupid, or I'm not in charge of my brain. It's just I wasn't. I don't take responsibility for my talents because I just was born with a brain that worked this way, and I don't have. That means. And it's not often that I do this, but I don't have to take responsibility for my faults either because I didn't choose to be someone who ran over that kid that July afternoon in 2003. Wait, what did I say?
Does that weigh on you?
I don't even know what you're talking about. No. So I can let things go a little bit easier that I'm trying my best and
bog body.
Bog bods. There's no bogs in my area. Yeah, so
I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum as you.
Yeah.
I think everyone is 100% responsible for everything they do, even if they're not. I
want you to read this book, Free Will by Sam Harris.
I'll
both
read
of
it.
you don't believe in therapy.
Yeah.
He keeps trying to make me meditate, and 10% happier. I read that.
You did?
Well,
Yeah.
let me tell you, Brian, there are a lot of spurious claims.
There are.
I read 10% happier, and I got 10% more bored.
Yeah.
Boom. No, I did. I actually liked it.
I have to. I've been journaling recently a lot more, and that's been helping my mental health. And crying, also helps a lot.
That helps. That's an amazing tool.
What the fuck? I know.
Yeah.
How many times do I have to say it on this podcast? I'm just incredibly amazed at how crying alleviates so much right away. It's like you take a shit. It's an
you're all
emotional
stuffed
shit.
up. Yeah, yes, an emotional shit.
And you just feel emptied out afterwards. You feel bouncier. You just feel. And I don't know why I don't do it. I'm not one of these people that cries and then gets embarrassed afterwards of I'm sorry I cried. I really always just am oh, good, that happened. Yes. I don't have any shame around it. I don't get why I'm not crying all the time.
Yeah, no, I think it's the same. Some couples get into really intense yelling arguments.
I've never related to that.
And then they maybe bang out after.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the same as crying for them. It's we have to just do this every once in a while.
If you're one of those couples out there that can scream at each other, how do you do that and not fear that the person's going to leave you forever? Whenever I see women that are you need to fucking do this and they are screaming at a man, I'm he's going to leave you. What are you doing?
Well, you shouldn't get it. But if they're both yelling at each other and that's just their thing, then there's something
I can't. I've never once. I think I one time have yelled at Chris and it was not even at him. It was at my therapist and it was supposed to bounce off of her and hit him. You know what I mean? It was in front of the therapist.
Sure.
And he was just shell shocked. He couldn't even believe. He was what was that? Where I'm just and you do this. And then, that's the only time I think I've ever raised my voice because I'm scared of being left. Why is everyone just so sure that everyone's going to stay with them forever? Why does no one have abandonment issues like me? I would never, ever once stand up to myself in a yelly way to almost anyone, but especially a lover because I'm lucky to even have one.
But I don't know.
I can't do it.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, I think I don't know. Well, I mean, your relationship has ended and started, so that's probably why you're afraid of that because it actually has happened.
Yes, that is a good point. But I just I've yelled at I can yell at my parents like that because they're never going to leave. They love me unconditionally. And that's why I don't even know why I have these abandonment issues because my parents never abandoned me.
No, never.
Emotionally, yes, all the time. I mean, chronically. But physically, they've never left. They're never going to leave until they die. And I don't want to think about that or I start crying. Okay, let's just go to break for a second and talk about this more when we get back. All right, we're back. Do you ever get in screaming matches?
I've done that before. It doesn't feel good. And I cannot recover from that stuff. It takes me like 3 weeks to regain some sense of like trust in the other person in the relationship. So I'm not a yeller. I've had a couple friends yell at me before where I'm like, who do you, like, your friends put up with this shit? Like, no, you can't talk to me like that. That's been the end of those friendships. I have one friend who screamed at me once and we're still friends, but I let her know
that's
is
a
not
boundary of yours.
Yeah, I guess that's a boundary of mine. I keep thinking about that word since
Boundaries?
the Jonah Hill thing. Yeah.
And like what that means.
Yeah, I felt like it was misused in a way, but I'm still trying to, and it feels like the whole culture is like, that's not a boundary, that's control. But like a boundary to me is something that I put up to protect myself. It's not something that I impose on you. Like you can respect my boundary, I guess, or not. But anyway, I have had a friend scream at me, but Matt and I don't do that. Like I really don't like that, but we've definitely said some words to each other before.
Yes.
Like loudly and fuck you or fuck off or whatever, but not a lot. Like I'm like, you get one pass.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we were
That's
talking
it.
about this weekend on the GC, the girls chat, and we were talking about when we get when a conversation, well, you get into something with your significant other and it just is so tense and the one person is annoyed and they're just like, okay, sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of thing. Like that's
I hate that.
or like, yeah, cool.
No
Okay,
good.
sounds good. Like that kind of talk, or like, I do it. Who knows if it's probably worse than yelling at someone and telling them how you really feel. It's the other end of that, I guess. On the other side of the things, it's just as unhealthy. But what do you do when someone says, you're supposed to just probably calmly say, I don't really appreciate your tone, or like based on your tone, I feel like you might be mad at me right now. Can you tell me exactly how you're feeling? Is that what you're supposed to say? That's what I tried to do.
How'd that go?
If you're the one that's
If you're
acting that way,
sensing them be that way,
shutting down.
yeah, you say, based on your tone, I'm sensing that you're upset with me. Is that true? And could you tell me why or expound on that?
I think that points at them, like points the blame at them. I think in that scenario, it's best to give them 10 minutes and say, hey, how about we take 10 minutes and then come back and talk about it.
Yeah, I have a friend that does a lot of that. And I've learned over the years that the best thing to do is just give them a lot of room. Because every time I've been like, what is this? It's like a fucking nightmare. It just gets worse if I point it out.
It's like, have you ever been like really like, I don't know, like heated over something and someone tells you to calm down? Like,
Yes.
what's the thing that you don't do? You don't calm down when someone says it.
Yes. Relax. And you just can't. Yes.
But how are you supposed to ignore it when somebody's just obviously being passive aggressive? It's like,
Yeah, I think that's a discussion.
I want to call it out.
I think that you're right. It's something like, well, I sense you're being passive aggressive right now, and that is probably going to make you very upset me saying that. So I'm going to take 10 minutes and maybe you call me back when you maybe have had a change of heart and you want to talk in a different tone with me. But that
Say
seems
that,
like really
but don't
dirty and
accuse.
punishing.
You got to use the magic phrase, which is when you do
Abra.
X, it makes me feel
Makes me
X.
feel.
Oh, that's
I
good.
really would like for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Right.
What
Give them a
about
little solution.
you
My big
are
thing-
fucking annoying and I'm
When you act so fucking annoying, it makes me hate you. I wish you would do things that I liked.
What about this? This is one I use a lot. I know you're upset with me right now. Will you please take a second to realize that I have literally never in my life tried intentionally to make you mad or to hurt you. I've never wanted to hurt you. I've never done anything that I was purposely like, this is going to make him feel worse about himself. So will you try to understand that maybe if you're feeling that way right now, it was by accident and you can find a way to forgive me? Because if you're coming from a place of knowing, do you believe that I would never try to hurt you? Do you believe
Yes.
that? Yes or no? Yes, I believe that you would never try to hurt me, because why would you be with someone that you think would ever try to hurt you? Yes, we've all said mean things. I can say that one time I have actually tried to hurt Chris by saying something, and it was in 2014, and it was I was really hurt and I said something that I knew would it was passive aggressive and I knew would hurt his feelings. And it was one time that I can even think of that I've ever wanted to hurt this person that I love. And I admitted to it. And it was not a good scene when I admitted to it, but I said from that, now you can trust me. I'll tell you if I ever do that again, if I catch myself being purposefully cruel. But if we're working from a place of I'm never trying to hurt you, even if it's subconsciously, maybe I am, at least consciously, I'm not trying to make you mad at me. All I want is for you to love me and never leave me. Can't you see that maybe I accidentally did this thing and you can forgive me?
For sure.
And I think that's helped me a lot, is to remind him, because I think a lot of times we get hurt because we think the other person is either, careless, meaning they're not trying, but they're not actually trying not to.
Right.
Or they are intentionally being cruel, which is just insane. And if you're ever with someone that repeatedly is intentionally being cruel to you, get the fuck out.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me.
Right?
If you're, isn't it amazing the restraint of the human race in that
Which race?
I'm
just kidding.
Caucasians.
I just want to picture this person, No.
Yeah, like the race of men with scraggly hair and molester glasses. Yeah, ogres. The race of ogres. And that
Bog Brothers.
Just think about this. Every day we all have the power to truly hurt the people around us by saying something.
Oh yeah.
Obviously you can run them over with your car. I'm not including that. But you could just,
or your lawnmower.
There are things that you could come up with for anybody in your life. If I said this to this person, it would really hurt them. And we all have the restraint to not do that. Isn't that something we all deserve an award for?
I always think about that on an airplane too. How amazing is it that we're all just sitting confined on this tiny tube and no one is screaming or freaking out. I mean, once in a while, but most flights are chill. And isn't that nuts that as a human race, we've all managed to just chill the fuck out for sometimes 8 hours, 7 hours quietly on this thing when probably a lot of us are mentally ill.
Self-preservation though. I think it's less about respecting everyone else and knowing that if you cause a stir, this is you can't fuck around.
That's
up
evolutionary
here.
Because if you did that in the wild, they would just kill you.
Yeah, you would be ostracized and you can't survive alone.
No, that's what I learned from that
banished,
show.
Yeah, that's true. We need community. We need people helping us. That's why getting to child rearing. That's why people feel so guilty about getting nannies. Bitch, you had probably 300. I don't know how big their tribes were back when we were having kids. You had a whole tribe of women helping you rear a child back then.
Yes.
The Hillary Clinton book, It Takes a Village. It literally takes a village to raise a child.
It takes a village to
women
read that
are
book.
priding themselves on women pride themselves on being I'm a strong mother who doesn't need any nannies, doesn't need help. And I get it. If you can't afford nannies, you can't have them, and you got to do it on your own, and that's kind of what you signed up for, and it fucking sucks, and it's way harder than you even thought it was going to be, and I have so much empathy for you. But if you can afford nannies and you're being holier than thou, I need to do this on your own, you're doing your child a disservice.
Yeah,
because it's not the way you are not going to be well rested, and you're not going to be. I would get so many fucking nannies. I would get so much help. So every time I see my kid, I am the best version, the most loving, the most present, the most, that's what I would do. And I'd probably seem on the outside very neglectful of my child, and I'm not around them a lot, but it would be so I can show up as the best.
I think a lot of moms are afraid that the nanny is going to bond too much with the kid. I had lots of, I went to nursery school and probably had babysitters. I don't remember any of them.
That's why I tell my friends who get nervous about nannies having too much of a relationship with their child over them. And I'm like, your kid won't fucking remember this woman.
Or consciously, though. What about subconsciously? Maybe they've.
Well, just make sure you get enough. Don't only see your child an hour a day. Don't be completely. Don't be I'm only happy an hour a day, and that's only one. That's not what I'm saying. Don't completely abandon your child, but I would say treat yourself to a massage. Let the nanny take over for a bit. Do nice self-care things, so when you do show up, you're relaxed and cool and loving and present.
I would give my baby to the nanny for
kids don't remember shit, man.
The first 8 years, and then I'd take it back.
I would have nannies helping me out a lot. But I would also feel deep shame about that because our culture is so about like, who's the best mom? And I'm momming so hard right now. And I'm a mom. Like I was with someone recently and they didn't, it was 4th of July weekend. I was with a couple that has a baby. And I'm not joking you. They never brought up the baby even once.
Wow.
And
that's
I was
amazing.
expecting it to be baby palooza. Like, you hear about this baby. They missed the baby. Oh, I wonder what the baby's doing. Oh, we just got a picture of the baby. Like, I hear about Anya's dog more over a weekend when they're not with the dog than I heard about this baby. And it's not because they're bad parents. They just enjoyed their trip away from the baby. And when I did ask about the baby, my God, they had so much to say. And it was the dam broke. And it's not like they were trying to withhold that, but it just seemed like a healthy relationship where it's like, the baby's fine. We're not going to be overly like, are they okay? I need to check in constantly. It was just it was the kind of parent I would want to be and that I probably would not be able to be because I'm so worried about what other people think about me or that nanny might tell people like she spends a lot of time getting foot massages and I'm here all the time and then that gets spread around. So I'm not saying I would want to be the type of person that could let my kid be with a nanny and kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
Were you watched by nannies? Did you have nannies? We never did.
No, I had my grandma lived. Oh, I wanted to say, that's what I wanted to say is that you did the right thing. I think the way to be truly happy is if we all lived in small villages with our families and friends. Like the fact that like when we were in the wild or whatever in tribal communities, we just lived with everybody we ever knew and loved or hated. Just everyone we ever knew all together growing up. And then occasionally someone would go off into the tundra and we never see him again. But for the most part, you'd be raising this, everybody would be raising each other in this village. And by you going back to St. Louis, I feel like you're kind of returning to that type of, you're with your family, you're with people, you're in your familiar place. And I think that truly is the key to happiness. And I think that is why so many people are depressed. For example, my family is in every single corner of the United States of America. Like I have Seattle, my sister's in Seattle, my brother is in Boston, my mom's in Florida, my dad's on Long Island, and I'm in LA. And it's like, there's no chance that we'd ever.
Yeah.
And I feel like we should, if we wanted to be happy, we would need to return to that like village type of life. And that's also why I envy people who like live in France, because France, I just think those French have it all.
Final thought. Yeah, keep going.
I envy the folks that live in France.
Because it's small?
Because it's small. So imagine if everybody that you ever knew and loved lived in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, my sister lives in Pittsburgh, even though I live in Harrisburg. And it's like, who fucking cares? You drive 2 hours?
Yeah.
But in America, it's such a big country.
So spread out.
It's so spread out that you could be literally a 6 to 7 hour flight away from your closest relative.
Yeah.
Brian, wait, wouldn't that mean then that your tribe member would be that crazy neighbor with the possums?
Yes.
No, well, maybe, but I live next to the possum person because I'm not with my tribe.
Yeah.
If I was with my tribe, that possum person would have been excommunicado.
Yes.
Many years ago.
I think you're right. Like I think during the pandemic when I was at a very low point, not just because of the pandemic, like a low point in my life anyway, and I was looking for an out because I was just stretched too thin and I like was really struggling. The second I had an excuse to go back home, I like leapt at it. And now I'm out here in LA and I miss my family so fucking much. I just miss being within 10 miles of them.
Oh, God.
Like, even though we don't hang out every night. I watched Family Feud last night. We were on with against Bebe Rexha's family on ABC. I don't know if you guys caught it, but I was like so excited to just see their faces and how cute they were. And I was just like missing them so freaking much. And tonight
you guys
I have
were so cute.
Yeah, Lauren was adorable. She looks amazing on TV. My mom was so pretty, and my dad was handsome and cool, and Matt was there. And no, Matt was
and
so
hilarious.
cute. We're such a cutie family. It made me so happy to be a part of such a tight-knit family, and I do miss them so much. And it really is. That's why I'm trying to get all of my friends in one place. I'm trying, like, ideally I would just live somewhere where we would all live together and all of our kids would hang out, or, you know, our dogs. And, yeah, it really is truly what makes me happy, is being near family and friends. And I feel that's why it's just felt a little depressed this week, because I'm like away from my boyfriend and just like my family, and I'm just LA. No one noticed it. She's like, every time you go to LA, you seem to get depressed. And I'm like, yeah, I think I do. Even Carla was like, why do you hate LA? I'm so mad that you hate LA every time you go. And it's like, it's not that I'm like, everyone's fake and too pretty. It's just like, it just feels like everyone is kind of a lone wolf out here. There isn't that sense. Everyone's kind of, I'm maybe picking up on that vibe that everyone's kind of struggling. And it's so fucking hot that my whole climate change stress that I feel constantly is like front and center here. You just feel it extra hard. Yeah. Tucson must be feeling like end of the world right now. Do you feel that? Like, does the oppressive heat makes you think like how the world is dying?
So first of all, I love oppressive heat. I love it. And in Tucson, it's great. Right now I'm in New York and it's hot and humid and it feels like I'm in an armpit.
Yeah,
God,
the humidity is what gets you.
Well, I wanted to talk really quickly about Bebe Rexha, because I played against her family last night. And then last night also was she, I guess the night before, she was on with her boyfriend. It was her
handsome boyfriend,
her very handsome boyfriend, who's friends with my boyfriend. They both work in production, and my boyfriend was like, that day I was on set, he was like, her boyfriend might be there. He's a cool guy. He's worked on these shows with me, and I was like, he's part of the team. And he's like, wow, it must be nice. No, like I wish Chris could have been there, but I had too big of a family. But then last night, speaking of our Jonah Hill talk last week, Bebe Rexha posted on her Instagram story. It is now off, but she posted a DM from her boyfriend.
Oh shit.
So things aren't good between them, I guess.
Oh man.
So the title of this is Bebe Rexha just dropped a DM from her boyfriend, Kian Safieri.
Okay.
Shames her weight in the DM. Okay, so this person's illiterate, whoever wrote this. Okay, so this is from him. Hey, I never said you weren't beautiful, and I never said I didn't love you. In fact, I said how beautiful you are and how much I loved you. I don't know why they're DMing, by the way.
Yeah, don't
It's
they
her boyfriend
talk to
who
each
appeared
other?
on Family Feud with her. So apparently they're very close. They've been together a while.
What's this in response to?
No, there's no response. She doesn't share what else.
Why he's saying this?
But I always said I would be honest with you, and your face was changing, so I told you it was. That was the conversation we were having, and you asked, because I care, would you rather I lied to you? You gained 35 pounds. Obviously, you gained weight, and your face changes, ? Should I just pretend it didn't happen and that it's okay?
Oh my God.
Come on, I gained 3 pounds and you call me chubs and fat. Doesn't mean you don't love me. If you're trying to find reasons to break up, this makes sense, ... But it's not the real reason. If you're unhappy with me /yourself /with life and don't see a future with us, then that's okay, and that's the reason. Don't use something like that to weaponize your anger or anxiety or any insecurity you may have. You know I always found you to be beautiful and loved you no matter what. I think it's important for you to think about things and write things down, speak to a therapist.
Oh God.
Screenshot this and post it on your Instagram socials. No, he didn't say that. And do this retreat thing to get to the root of the problem.
Oh, retreat.
Let me know if you'd like to speak. If you need more clarity. Love you.
What an idiot.
Really?
Well, he just made like the most basic, dumbass Fred Flintstone mistakes.
Which are what?
You don't comment on your wife's weight.
What if she asked? Because it sounds like she did.
She
to me,
asked?
I
She
feel
sounds
like
like
she's
she
like,
said-
does my face
You never
look
said
different?
I was beautiful. And do you think my face looks different?
Oh my God. Well, you can't fall for that. That's a trap.
He says that was the conversation we were having and you asked. Okay, so she did ask.
It's a trap. Be
Does
smarter
my
than
face
that,
look
bro.
different? So she I guess told him I've gained 35 pounds. He's probably like, I'm not going to say anything, but she's like on a scale and she knows it. And then she goes, does my face look different? He says yes. And now she's posting this thinking everyone's going to like hate him. And I guess based on that, the intro little line, he shames her. Like people are on board with that, and they did pick up on that. But she's since removed it because I think the tide has turned and people are seeing this for what it is, which is like, you asked.
Right. No, I'm not. I don't think it's like his fault or whatever. I'm just saying be smarter than that.
Don't fall into the trap.
If Bebe Rexha goes, oh my God, am I fat now? I don't care who you are. You go, no.
Yeah.
You're beautiful, baby.
And maybe your face looks bigger because someone threw a phone at it and it's swollen. That happened to her a couple weeks ago.
You go, I love you. You're so beautiful. I don't know. I don't care.
But I like that he gains 3 pounds and she calls him fat and chubs.
I know. He's like, I've dealt with this for a while. He also loves her clearly and says there's nothing like having your face change does not equal I don't love you anymore.
Yeah, he said your face changed, but it doesn't mean he said I don't love you anymore and I don't want to have sex with you. And I like, who knows? Maybe that did get said, but it doesn't sound like it got said. What do you guys make of this, Anya?
Same. I'm like, first of all, I want to see the whole context, but it does sound like she asked, am I beautiful? Why didn't you say I was beautiful? And he's just defending himself. And I don't think there's anything wrong with what he said. He actually sounds like a pretty emotionally mature guy. He's just saying, yeah, your face changed. You asked if it changed, it sounds like, but we don't know the context. So these are embarrassing
posting
to me.
These things? What is wrong with people?
I totally agree
She needs
with
to
you.
go throw her phone at someone's face to get it away from her because this is not a good look. What is happening? Why are people doing this?
Girls are psyched to like put guys on blast, and it sounds like it might have bit her in the ass. She's clearly a beautiful woman. Yeah. And maybe she's going through something right now. Sounds like she's insecure. She's about to go to a retreat.
Or maybe she changed medication or something.
She's going to change it soon. It's going to be Ozempic, and we all know where this is going to go. And she's going to be as thin as she wants to be at any point. So the tide will turn. And but I just don't like this whole if he gets back together with her, this is cause for breakup. If anyone ever
it's an unhealthy relationship altogether.
Message to
oh God, no, that's a breach of trust.
Yes, but do you think he'll get back together with her?
I mean, I would.
He sounds too emotionally mature to
let
think,
this
especially
one slide.
after after showing that, because she has like how many followers on Instagram?
Probably a million plus. Yeah, at least.
Well, if I was this guy is in production, he's not a famous guy. If I was that guy and I was dating Bebe Rexha, maybe the most famous pop star besides Taylor Swift right now.
Well, no, but close.
She's bigger than Sting.
You definitely asked yesterday what is a Bebe Rexha song, and then I sang it, and you did not recognize it. So to even claim that she's next to Taylor Swift,
I've seen her on billboards.
Okay, yes.
Like Doja Cat level.
Okay, yeah, she's pretty close.
Yeah. So if I was dating Bebe Rexha and I was just like a regular production dude, I would give her many different opportunities to fuck up like that, and I would still go back.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, she's got a leash the size of what's a long rope example?
I don't know. Wait, we were playing improv games yesterday. What's in your bag of fun? A long rope leash.
Yeah, a leash the size of a
bungee cord into the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
there you go. Okay,
bungee
someone
cord.
did their homework.
Yeah.
Okay, so but I want to say really, the Family Feud was a great episode. Try to watch that. I guess maybe Hulu or something. I don't know where ABC things are, but with me and my family, it was so funny. We lost so badly. The score was like 680, like on the Bebe Rexha score. And we got 13 points next to Bebe Rexha's 680. This is true. This family swept the floor with us, and wept. We wept afterwards. It was so embarrassing. It was a lot leading up to that. My parents were deliriously tired because their 18 flights had been canceled and they were supposed to get there the day before. They arrived literally 45 minutes before the show began. So we have all the excuses in the world. We also didn't know how to play the game. It was explained to us before, but I did not know that when you buzz in at first, if the person who hits the buzzer first, I thought gets to go and then it goes to their team. I didn't know they answer. And then the other person gets a chance to answer too.
Yeah.
So when they went to me, I was just like, I don't know. I stopped thinking after she hit the buzzer before me.
Sure.
I didn't know. And that's on me. I should have watched the show. And there's so many details I want to talk about, but I signed an NDA. But someday, maybe when I have a mental illness and it's taken over my brain, I'll share all of it. We got to go. Thank you for listening to the show. We'll be here tomorrow. I can't wait. And don't be good. And just wear a buff, not a scarf.